Well, we can now cross live to Wembley Stadium once more, where Blair McTighe joins Jimmy Gymnaps. Blair, congratulations. You've managed to bring in a trophy which you've wanted for years. You've gone on record as saying that. And it must be a great feeling. You've brought in a lot of talented youngsters to the team, with the likes of David De Gea in goals. Perhaps at fault, but we'll talk about that later for the first goal. Alexis Sanchez played amazing today as well, and the sparkling Juan Mata.
Yeah, I mean, all the players that you've mentioned there and the other 8 that were on the field today, apart from within the first 10 minutes, really never put a foot wrong. As you said with De Gea, at fault for the first goal, I wouldn't necessarily blame him there. I think it was a bit of a mix-up. We look at Alemannia's squad coming in today, and with a front two, Jermaine Defoe and Agbon Lahore, it's almost as if you're watching the 100 metre sprint final at the Olympics. They caught us out with an early ball over the top, which their man Defoe managed to get to, and I thought De Gea just decided to go for it, take a chance, a gamble. It's not paid off. He got himself booked earlier on, which was a bit of a scare as well. Cesar was obviously resting for the European Cup final as well, so we never had anybody on the bench. So luckily it was just a yellow, and we managed to compose ourselves after that and go on and be victorious.
Well, it seemed a case of youth versus experience today, and also some of your more elder players, shall we say, in their late 20s. Sounds ridiculous, but the likes of Gail Clichy and such, they haven't really seen Master League football, whereas the likes of Joby Mikel and such for Alemannia, they have played first team football. Did you see that as a problem today, and was that concerning, and did it come to mind at all when you were down 1-0?
No, not at all. I think we were down 1-0, and quite surprisingly, it didn't seem to bother the boys. We've not been on that many big stages with the young guys there, so it didn't seem to bother them, which I think was probably a credit to them. And they've came out, and I think after maybe 25 minutes we settled down, and for the remainder of the match we really were the better team. We managed to compose Alemannia's attack very well. Raul Morelos had an outstanding game again, who's definitely not going unnoticed. He's a great player. He's been at us since I don't even know when, but his performance today was outstanding, and I just hope that doesn't go unnoticed by the fans. He was excellent for us. But I feel we had the better of the game afterwards, and managed to kind of break down what Alemannia were doing. And like you said, the wee man Sanchez has had a stormer, a screamer, a ball by Hulk, and his pace, he can beat anybody on his day.
Well, he certainly looked the understudy to Ronaldo today. You had a very similar approach, this second set of players, if we can call them that. You seem to be using the same tactics as your starting 11. Is that something, do they play each other in training as 11s, or is it just a case of mirroring their sort of their peers?
Well, these so-called second 11, we do have situations where injuries occur, and obviously we do try different things. You saw Sanchez play quite a few games in the Master League this year, at right wing rather than up front. But we need players who are versatile and can play in different positions, but also we need players that can step up into our first team players if the injuries occur, or if we do need a bit of a freshen up the squad. So having players that can play the exact formation is a bonus. So we thought we'd start with that today, see how half time brought, what half time brought, and we're up. We're back level. So we thought we'd stick with it in the second half, and we seem to have the better of them all second half.
Well, you've brought in a new piece of silverware after missing out on the other domestic titles this year. Is that something that's lifted your spirits, and can you take that to the final, even though it will of course be another set of players overall who will be starting against odd? Any silverware coming into you in a season is obviously going to lift your head, especially before another massive cup final. Playing odds is like playing Alemannia. They're a very big club, but they're obviously on high spirits after winning the league. They'll be looking for the first ever treble, winning the Master League. So it's going to be very difficult to stop them. Different set of players, yeah, but these the players that are so called again starting 11, they've got to take some sort of motivation from that. They saw our younger players and Sanchez shining. There might be a surprise or two with starting 11 players might not be making the cut with the way some of these players have played today. Well, we've mentioned David De Gea, said we'd talk about it again. Do you honestly believe that he's a natural successor to Julio Cesar? Cesar's of course getting a bit older now.
We know you've got a very young team here at German Beershot. Is he likely to push on over the next season and perhaps take that number one spot?
Well, I hope so. The young man's only 20 years old. Are you going to tell me one mistake's going to stop him from that? I don't think so. The majority of these reserves cup games in the second half of the season since we signed him, he's played, and I think 90% of the time he's kept a clean sheet. Today he was unfortunate, but again I wouldn't solely blame him. So he's a fantastic young goalkeeper. He's can maybe compare him a little bit to Stecklenburg. The frame of him, he's big, he's tall, and he's pretty solid. So we look at players that we've had in the past and try and kind of go for players that are roughly around about the same calibre as him. So David here, was an excellent, was pretty much a steal as well in the transfer market. So we're very happy to have him. We're very happy for him to be working with Julio, and they got on great. So hopefully Julio can pass a few of his secrets on to him. And I'd love to see David succeed at this club, especially if I'm still here.
All right, Blair. Well, it's been a marvellous night for you and the guys. Congratulations, and see you again.
Thanks, Jamie.